You're live.
Oh, okay, great. Hello, welcome to this yoga class. So my name's Anna and I'll be teaching today. So we'll get started in a few minutes, but do say hello in the chat if you'd like. I've got Ariane here who can read me out comments. So some of you might be joining for the first time, although I imagine that most of you have been here before, as it were. Really warm welcome to you, wherever you are, whoever you are. We'll start in like 2 minutes. So just make sure that you've got everything that you need to practice. It's useful to have some kind of cushion or something where you can elevate your seat a little bit nearby. You might not have yoga blocks because why would you? But if you do, then you can use them. So I'll say a little bit about the class when we start at 12. But we will be, if you came to the class last week, then we'll be focusing on the sort of the same family of postures. If you liked that, then there'll be a bit more of that. And if you didn't, then sorry. But I do encourage you to stay anyway and work into that. Is anyone saying hello? Not yet. Okay. 12 people. Okay, cool. Some of you might be practicing outside. I was practicing yoga outside today in the morning, and I think it's so nice if you can manage it ever, even if it's not for this class. If you can take yourself to your garden or to the park at some point, then I really, really do recommend practicing outside, even if the ground is a little bit more wobbly, so it can make some postures slightly more difficult, but there's just something about being outside when it's sunny and you can practice and you can do sun salutations to the sun. It's really, 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 really nice. Okay, so we'll start now, and there might be some people sort of trickling in as we practice. So today the class is about working with uncertainty and ways that we can sort of use the practice of yoga and meditation to come into relationship with uncertainty and the ways that kind of manifests in our experience. So I was thinking about this over the weekend, and I was thinking about the fact that over the last few months, we have kind of adjusted to a new version of normal, where our movements have been very restricted, and things. Certainly for me, I think when the lockdown happened, it was an incredibly uncertain time, and it felt like the rug had been pulled out from under my feet, and everything changed very quickly. But then, over the next, or since then, over the subsequent months, I sort of adapted to the new normal, as it were. Spending a lot of time at home and spending a lot of time doing things like this, practicing online or teaching online. Now it seems like change is on the horizon again, or change is feeling very present again. And whatever your experience of lockdown, and whatever your experience of sort of life before lockdown, I think it's interesting to note and to notice how the prospect of change sort of manifests itself in your experience. So it could be that there is anxiety about what's coming. It could be that there's relief. It could be that there's overwhelm, or a mixture of all of those things. And I think it's interesting to notice how that changes our actions as well. So how it might, well, I've noticed that the prospect of change, even if my day-to-day is currently still quite similar to what it was during lockdown, my current day-to-day, it becomes a little bit harder to stick to a routine if I'm thinking that change, if I'm able to plan for things in the future, like getting out of London or something like that. Um, so yeah, just I think um, notice how that is affecting you, and notice how it's showing up in the body. Excitement, anxiety, and yeah, we're going to start now, and I'd like us to sit in meditation for a moment, and then I'm going to read a short. I'm going to recite a short reading from the Pali Canon. So it's an early collection of Buddhist teachings. And it's on the worldly winds. So it's this idea that these 8 winds will kind of travel through our lives and sway us side to side. So things like pleasure and gain, and blame and discomfort and gain, things like that. So yeah, well, the text will kind of explain itself to us. So they're sort of the closest thing we have to the word of the Buddha. So we'll sit for just a short while, just to ground ourselves, and then I'll read that, and then we'll start the class. So just go ahead and set yourself up in a comfortable seat, and you can close your eyes. And just allow yourself to arrive a little bit more fully. Just feeling the weight of the body on the ground. And just following the breath for a few cycles. Loss arises. Status arises. Disgrace arises. Censure arises. Praise arises. Pleasure arises. Pain arises. For a well-instructed disciple of the noble ones, he reflects, pain has arisen for me. It is inconstant, stressful, and subject to change. He discerns it as it actually is. Okay, so when you're ready, you can open your eyes and then just make your way over to your hands and knees. And when you get to hands and knees, spread the fingers out really nice and wide and press the hands down into the floor. Yeah, so just feeling that, that contact between your hands and the mat. Then we're going to hold in a cat pose for a couple of breaths. So start to round into the spine, tuck the chin in, relax the head. And just pause here. So keep pressing the hands into the ground, really feeling the hands, feeling the knees on the floor. You can pad the knees up if you need to. And then let's go the other way. So start to lift the tailbone up, drop the belly down, lift the heart, look forwards, and then again, pause. And here, you can imagine that you're trying to drag the hands a little bit back towards the body. Take a breath in there. And then on your out breath, round into the back again. Relax the head. And then a couple more times, so breathing in to lift the tailbone, look forward. And breathing out, rounding into the spine, relax the head. Breathing in. So just noticing the shape that you make as you move through these postures, breathing out. Noticing the shape of your back and the movement of the back, the movement of the spine. Good. And then next time you round into the spine, come back into child's pose. So start to send the hips back towards the heels. Take the big toes together and take the forehead to the floor. Shuffle the hands forward. So really keep the fingers spread and inch the hands forwards as much as you can. Keep the hips low. And then look forwards and lead with the chest. Come back into the cow pose. So lifting the belly, look forward. And then rounding the back, come back into child's pose. Relax the head. And then again, so look forwards, lift the chest, lift the gaze, and come into cow pose. And then again, rounding the back, relaxing the head. And a couple more times. So coming forwards, dropping the belly. And then rounding, scooping the belly in, pressing back. And then last one like that. So coming forwards, feel the shoulder blades draw together. And then rounding the spine as you come back. Good. Okay, and then this time coming forwards and step the right foot through to between your hands. So you can help it along its way if you need to. Come onto your fingertips and tuck your back toes under. So quite a big step between your 2 feet. Draw the chest forwards and then press that front heel down into the ground and start to lift the back knee away from the floor. So we're in a kind of runner's lunge here. Nice and firm through the back thigh. Take a breath. And as you breathe out, back knee lowers down to the ground. And then a couple more times, just like that, nice and easy. So lifting up the back leg. And then the knee comes down towards the floor. Last one. So back leg lifts up. And then back knee comes down to the ground. This time untuck the back toes and take both hands onto the front thigh. So pull the chest a little bit back in space. So you can draw the hips slightly back as you lift up. And then release the hands and lift your arms up over the head. So really strong through that back leg. You can lift the gaze here. Okay, and then we're going to come into our first side bend. So I'd like you to take your left hand onto the front of your right thigh. And then let the hips drop forwards again. And take your right fingertips down to the floor, sort of midway between your right heel and your right hip. And you can take them a big step out to the side, or you can use blocks. Yeah, you can use blocks or cushion. And then start to press that left hand down into the right thigh. So you're moving the chest away from the front thigh. And then reach that left arm over and up. So we're leaning towards the right and looking down towards the right fingertips. Lovely. Okay, and then left hand is going to come down to the floor, inside the right foot. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee away from the floor. Again, you can pad that left hand up on something if you need to. And then start to make big circles with that right arm. So the right arm's going to reach forwards and then over and around to the back heel. And then a couple more times like that. So sweeping that right arm up, over, around, and back. And then last one like that. So big circle with that top arm. And if this gets too much on the legs, the back knee can lower down to the floor. Good. And now 2 hands come down. And let's step back to downward facing dog from here. And just notice the feeling between your 2 legs. We'll take a few breaths here. So you can do whatever you like. You can pedal out through your feet, or you can come into stillness. If you're pedaling the feet, you might like to let the hips sort of sway from side to side as well. And one of the things that we're sort of after in yoga is noticing what is actually going on in the body right now. So even if you're a seasoned practitioner, your body and how you feel in it, how you inhabit it will change from day to day. So as you settle into this quite familiar posture, just notice how it's actually feeling for you right now. Just observing without judgment, but just allowing for that space to notice. Okay, and then we'll take that little lunging sequence on the left-hand side. So step the left foot forwards, tuck the back toes under and come onto your fingertips. You can pad the back knee up if you need to. And then start to draw the chest forwards. So let the hips drop down for this first one. And then start to lift the back knee away from the floor. So back leg gets straight. And then slowly lower that knee down to the ground. Couple more times like this. So feel that front heel dig down into the floor as you lift the back thigh. And then it lowers down again. Let's take one more like that. So back knee lifts up. And then back knee comes down. Untuck the toes. Take both hands onto the front thigh as you lift up the chest. Press that back foot down into the ground. And then sweep the arms up over the head. Feel the sides of the waist get long as you press the feet down into the floor. And take a big breath in. Good. And then hands come down. So right hand onto the left thigh. Left fingertips, you might be able to see it a bit better on this side. So you can let the hips come forwards. Left fingertips to the floor, sort of midway between that left heel and the left hip, and a big step out to the side. And then you're going to circle the right arm over and up. So you're leaning to the left. And then can you breathe into the right side waist? Turn the chest a little bit towards the floor. Okay. And then from there, coming forwards, left hand comes down to the ground. Right hand comes down. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee. Sweep the left arm forwards, and then up and back. A couple of times like that. You can follow the fingertips with your gaze, so making the circles as big as feels sort of reasonable for you. Let's try to keep the breath flowing here. Good. And then let's take the right hand and the left hand down to the floor and take a big step back. Come back into downward facing dog. And do remember, if you need to rest at any point in the class, then you always have that option. And especially if you're newer to the practice, just resting whenever you need to. Let's just take a couple more breaths here. Again, just tuning in, noticing the contact between the body and the ground, noticing the parts of the body that rise up away from the ground, what's actually here right now. Okay, and then we're going to take a step towards the front of the mat. And you're going to take your feet about hip distance apart. Bend both of your knees, and you might need blocks for this next bit. We're going to come into a kind of twist in the forward fold. So look at your left leg and straighten the left leg, bend the right knee. Take your right hand to the floor or to blocks in front of your face or to cushions. And then take your left hand to your lower back. So you're taking a little bit of a twist. Good. And then let's see if we can reach that left arm up towards the ceiling. And you can lean into it so you can bend the right knee a little bit deeper as you twist. Lovely. And then look down, bend both knees for a moment, and then change sides. So left hand comes down, right leg straight, left leg is bent. Yeah, and then take the right arm either to your lower back or you can lift it up towards the ceiling and turn the chest all the way around towards the right hand side. Lovely. And then soften into both knees, remove the support if you used it, and come into a forward fold. So both knees bending. Take hold of your elbows if that feels okay, and just have a little bit of a rock from side to side. Let the head get soft, neck soft. Feel your feet on the floor. And then let's release the arms and slowly start to roll up to standing. Press the feet down into the floor as you rise up. Good. And then let's keep the feet hip distance apart. Take the arms up over the head. So we did this one last week as well. So reaching up through both fingertips. And then let your right hand come down towards the outer right thigh. And then you're going to start to lean towards the right hand side. You're reaching up and over with the left arm. And you can let your right leg, your right hand slide down the outside of your right leg. Good. And then coming all the way up and take it to the other side. So left hand is going to come down. Right arm reaches up and then over. So you're thinking of a kind of a big, beautiful arc. You can keep your knees a little bit soft. Good. And then come all the way up. Reach both arms up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, come into a forward fold. So take the fingertips down towards the floor. Relax the head. We're going to take some half sun salutations. So as you look forwards, inhale, straighten the arms, lift the chest. And then exhale, fold forwards again. Relax the head. Press the feet into the floor, lift the arms, inhale, look up. Good. And then straight into the next one. So exhale, diving forwards, fingertips down to the ground. Halfway lift as you breathe in. So look up, lengthen the spine, long back. And then breathing out, folding forwards. Inhale, press your feet into the floor, lift your arms, lift your gaze. Exhale, fold forwards, moving on, so fingertips down. Relax the head. Come halfway up as you breathe in. Feel the sides of the waist get long. Nice, and then exhale, this time fold and step your right foot back. Take the right knee down to the ground. Good. As you breathe in, reach your arms up, look up. Breathe out, take the hands down to the floor. Step back into downward facing dog from there. So press the feet down, lift the hips, spread the fingers. Bring the feet a little bit closer together towards one another, and then reach your right leg up and back. Good. If this is too intense on your left leg, then take your left knee down to the ground. Do it from hands and knees. Otherwise, start to bend your right knee and draw the right heel towards the right sitting bone. Lift the right knee up a little bit higher. So turn the hips towards the right. Good. And then look forwards and step the right foot through to between your hands. You can help it along its way if you need to. Left knee comes down. Press the feet down, breathe in, lift your arms, look up. And then breathe out, hands down, step your left foot forwards. Come halfway up as you breathe in, look up. Exhale, fold forwards. Relax the head down. Inhale to sweep the arms up, look up. And then exhale again, folding forwards, soft knees. Halfway up as you breathe in, lengthen. And then breathe out, step your left foot back, left knee comes down. And sweep the arms up as you breathe in, look up, press the feet down. And then breathe out, hands come down. Step back to downward facing dog from there. Nice. Take a breath. And then step the feet a little bit closer together. Lift the left leg up and back behind you. Bend the left knee. Draw the left heel towards the left sitting bone. Lift the left knee a little bit higher. So turn the hips a little bit towards the left. Good. And then look forwards and step the left foot through. Right knee comes down to the floor. Lift the arms as you breathe in. Look up. And then exhale. Take the hands to the floor. Step forwards from there. Come halfway up. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Relax the head. Press the feet down, breathe in, lift your arms high. And then this time, bring the hands together in front of the chest. Just pause. Look at your fingertips. Take a full breath in. And then release the arms down. Okay, let's take a couple of standing postures from here. So step your left foot back, long down the mat. Turn and ground the left foot. Bend the right knee. Reach the arms out wide. So we're coming into warrior 2 from here. So nice big space between your 2 feet. Look over your front middle finger. There's a sense of kind of sort of settling or sinking down into the pose. Spread the toes out. You're feeling the ground beneath the feet. Good. And then from there, look at your left leg. Take the left hand down to the left thigh and reach the right arm up and back. Get long through the right side body. Drop the right knee as you reach the right arm up. Steady through that back leg. Steady through the breath. Nice. And then slowly come all the way up. Straighten out your front leg and step the back foot slightly in. Reach the right arm forwards and then tip your right hand down. Reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to take the same variation of a triangle that we did last week. So instead of reaching the top arm up, you're going to start to reach the top arm forwards, and you can let your top ribs start to round a little bit. So it's like your top side is making a bit of a C shape. That's really nice. I've got a great demonstrator here behind the camera. Good. And you might find that as you do this, that right hand slides down a little bit more. You might even be able to bring it to the floor or to blocks. But just on your shin is also fine. And you can look a little bit down towards the floor, kind of lean into it, turn the chest slightly down. Good. And then from there, soften into your front knee. And then as you come up, we're going to come into side angle pose. So take your right forearm down onto the right thigh. You might want to slide the back leg back again, and then circle the left arm over and up. And then here, try to rotate the chest around towards the ceiling. You might have the space to take your right hand to the floor inside your front foot. You might even want to come into a bind here. So just following a few cycles of breath. Just about 2 more. Good, and then look down towards the floor. Take the hands to either side of your front foot. And draw back, come into downward facing dog from there. Just spread the fingers out wide. And just notice the effects of that, of the postures. Lovely. And then from there, step both feet forwards. Roll up to standing. Lift your arms as you go. And between sides, let's take the arms all the way up over the head and soften the knees a little bit. Good. And then we're going to take hold of the left wrist with the right hand. And then start to draw a big circle. So we're going to go clockwise. So we're starting to pull the left arm over towards the right. Big, big, big circle. And then the hand's going to come down to between the feet and over towards the left. So keep the knees soft. You can have the legs as wide as they need to be to feel supported. Just take that once or twice more in a clockwise direction. And just feeling especially the left side body here. And then next time your arms are over the head, separate the hands and change sides. So we're taking hold of the right wrist with the left hand and taking big circles here. So just feeling this in the body. It might feel quite strong. Yeah, so just working in a way that feels appropriate for your body. Just take one more of those. Lovely. And then when you're ready, just release the arms and come down, come into a mountain pose for a moment. Just noticing for effects, noticing for sensations through the side body. Good. And then when you're ready, let's take the standing postures on the second side. So take the other foot. So step back with your right foot this time. We'll just make sure that you're doing the second side. And come into warrior two from there. So that front knee is bending, the left knee bends, right leg nice and straight. Sink down into the posture. Look over the front middle finger. And just notice what has to happen in the body to keep you here. And then look at that back leg. Take the right hand down to the right leg and reach the left arm up and back. So as you reach the top arm up, can you bend a little bit deeper into that front knee? Lovely. And then let's straighten out the front leg. So 2 straight legs, shuffle the back toes a little bit in. So as you reach the left arm forwards, pull the left hip crease back and then take the left hand down to the left leg. Reach the right arm up and then over so that it's in line with your right ear. And let your top ribs round a little bit so you make a kind of C shape there. Strong through your feet. Good. And you might even find that you can get the left fingertips down onto something like the ground or a block. Couple more breaths. Lean into it. Good. And then pressing into both of your feet, coming all the way back up. Nice. Rebend your front knee. And then take the left forearm down onto the left thigh. Circle the right arm over and up. So dig that front heel down into the floor. And you want to feel like there's a long line from that back heel all the way up to the top fingertips. Rotate the chest around towards the ceiling. Breathe. Just following the breath for about 2 more. Lovely. And then look down towards the floor. Frame the front foot. Good. And press yourselves back, hands down. Downward facing dog. Spread the fingers out wide. Lovely. And then from there, take the knees down to the ground. Sit back on the heels for a moment. Forehead comes to the floor, child's pose. You might like to take a slightly fuller breath in and a longer breath out. Good. And then when you're ready, just roll yourselves up to sitting. And sit down. We're going to come into a few more. We're going to come into some forward bends, some wide-legged forward bends here. So yeah, I really do encourage you to, have a go with these, but do know your limits. So if it feels like it's too much or you're going a little bit too far into the postures, then just dial them back a little bit. So softeners, as it were, are to bring the legs slightly closer towards one another, and also to keep the knees a little bit bent. You can even put support like blocks or rolled up towels or cushions underneath your knees. Okay, so we'll start with a straight forward fold. So take the legs out to a semi-wide angle, and then take your hands into the very top of the thighs like this. So the thumbs facing forward, so they're right in the hip creases here. And press down quite strongly, quite firmly. Reach your way through your heels, and then start to lean the body a little bit forwards. And that might already feel like it's too much on the groin. So you can just stay sitting upright if that's you. If you feel like you've got a bit more space, you can lean forward slightly more. And you might like to take your hands down towards the floor. You might like to walk the hands forwards. You might like to sway a little bit from side to side. So keep the legs active. And even if you don't have the hands on the thighs, I'd like you to imagine that you do, that you've got hands sort of pressing, grounding the thigh bones down. Good. And then slowly just work your way back up. Look at your right shin and take the right hand down onto the right shin. Reach the left arm up alongside the left ear. And then start to lean over so you come into a side bend. Yeah, so you might like to stay exactly where you are. Yeah, and you might be up here, and this is fine. Yeah, you might be able to take that bottom elbow down towards the floor, and then switch the hand around so you flip the grip of the hand. So you take the thumb towards the floor, and you take the little finger towards your big toe. And then you lean over a little bit more. And see if you can really press that bottom elbow down into the floor. If that's you, you might be able to catch the outside of your right foot with your left hand. Good. And then just coming all the way up. And just notice feeling for the after effects of the posture. Just noticing the sensations through the inner right leg and through the left side body. And then let's take it to the other side. So left hand comes to left shin. Right arm reaches up and then start to lean over towards the left side. So try to make sure that the right leg and the right sitting bone are heavy, that they're going in the direction of the floor, even if they are lifting up a little bit. And then you might stay just here, or your left elbow comes to the floor, flip the left hand, so little finger points up, and then you might find that you can reach the right arm, catch the outside of the left foot. And then if that's you, dig that bottom elbow down into the floor and try to press the top elbow up. away from the bottom. And turn the chest, lean the body slightly back. Good. And then slowly come all the way back up. Just pause there for a moment. Okay, and then we're going to take one more side bend. So I'd like you to fold your left leg in. So either the left heel towards the groin, or you can have it slightly away from the body if that feels more appropriate, more available to you. And then we start the same way again. So right hand comes down to the floor, to the top of the shin. Left arm reaches up and over. And then again, if you've got a little bit more space, right elbow comes to the ground. Flip the grip of your right hand and then reach over. And so just spending a few breaths here. So even if you've just got your right hand on your right shin and you're reaching the left arm over, you can still have that sense of leaning back into the posture. Rounding through the top ribs. Good, and then slowly coming all the way up. And again, just noticing the effects of the posture. And then changing sides. So sliding that left leg out, fold the right knee in. So heel towards the groin, or you can take it a little bit away from the groin if that feels more comfortable. Left hand to left shin, right arm reaches over and up. And then just arranging your elbows, your arms in a position that works for you. So elbow to floor, arm reaches over, or hand to shin. And just see if you can take a few steady breaths here, where you're really breathing into that right side flank. And you're noticing where you can feel the breath in the body. Good. And then slowly come all the way up and make your way down onto your backs from here. So start with the soles of the feet down and slide the arms out wide. So 2 feet down, arms out wide. And then just gently sway your knees from side to side. So they might come all the way down to the ground, or they might be quite small movements. And you can close your eyes, or if you happen to be outside, if you're in your garden or something, then you can look up towards the sky. And then just hug the knees in towards the chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. So keep the knees close into the body, sort of tucked in as you rock from side to side. Lovely. And then from there, letting go of the legs and start to make your way down to Shavasana. So lying down flat on the floor. If there's any other little movements that you'd like to take first, then you can go ahead and take those now. And just taking a moment to register, to notice the sensations that are most present in the body. Notice how there are layers of feeling of sensation. So sensations on the surface of the skin, the tissues, the muscles. There might even be sensations inside the body, deeper in the body, the organs, bones. And perhaps noticing if there are any physical sensations that are attached to feelings or thoughts. Perhaps excitement or nerves. Just checking in with the belly, checking in with the chest. And we'll stay here for a little while longer. You might like to stay exploring or noticing sensations in the body. You might also like to bring to mind the image of the clear blue sky. That is radiant, vibrant. That is a manifestation or a kind of embodiment of a huge perspective, an ultimate, a broad perspective. And a clarity. And clouds of thought, of feeling, they pass across, and sometimes they might obscure the sky. But the sky is always there. And so if you can stay longer lying down, then that's a really good option. If it's time to move on, then just starting to move the body. Just gently easing your way up to sitting. You can close your eyes when you get there, just sitting for a moment. Perhaps again bringing to mind that blue sky. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining this class. Really, really nice to have you as always. And if you're watching in sometime in the future, then thank you for joining as well. So yeah, in the midst of all of the uncertainty that it feels very present at the moment, or may feel very present for you. I think one of the things that we can really do to support ourselves and to support the people in our lives is to keep practicing, really, is to keep engaging, to keep practicing yoga, to keep meditating. At the London Buddhist Centre, we're continuing to run multiple events a day, the vast majority of which are still online. So we're very much here for you, that the community of teachers and volunteers. We're all sort of here to support you all. We are eternally grateful for any support that you can or do give to the centre in terms of donations. The donations are, without the donations, we wouldn't be able to run any of the activities that we do. We do really rely on those. So Ariane's posted a link to our Just Giving page. And if you feel able to give, then, rest assured it will be used well. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a lovely sunny day, and hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.